I'm actually glad I covered this fight because I wasn't going to cover it. At this point in time, I've been awake for about 27 hours or so. We also have Canelo versus Khan coming up, and Anthony Crolla. If I'm correct, let me look up his record. I know he has 4 losses and 3 draws, or 3 losses and 4 draws. Let me make sure I'm correct. I didn't give him too much of a chance, to be honest with you. Hell, a lot of people didn't because of the inconsistencies in his career. 31 4-3 with 13 KOs. He fought a fighter by the name of Ismael Barroso from Venezuela. And this is a guy who has 19 wins. He took his first loss tonight and 2 draws that was very early in his career. He won 18 of his 19 fights by knockout. And at the very beginning of the fight, the first few rounds, he was putting some hands on Anthony Crolla, but he stayed composed. Now the big question is, what I want to hear is, I want to hear, who does he call out? Now you have Francis Barthélemy, who is the IBF champion. He's going to be taking on Mickey Bay. I would like to see him fight the winner, of those fighters. And those are 2 fights that can be made depending on who wins. Of course, you have Terry Flanagan, but promotional issues and, the fact that Terry Flanagan is over on Box Nation and Crolla is a matchroom fighter over on Sky Sports, the likelihood of that happening is very slim. You also have Jorge Linares. Now, I would love to see him take this fight and actually start going towards bigger fights, because the problem is he's a WBA champion. One good thing is he's the only WBA champion, and this was a very rare situation where the WBA interim champion actually fought the WBA champion, and there's no WBA Super World champion. Now, normally, if you don't know the WBA, they have 2 titles, the WBA Super World champion, the WBA World champion. Now, they're supposed to be getting rid of the WBA Super World title. So to put it in perspective, just to round things up a little bit, before we get to the post-fight interview, Floyd Mayweather at 147 and 154 was the WBA Super World champion. To whereas at 147, Keith Thurman is the WBA World champion. At 154, Erislandy Lara is the WBA World champion. So Crolla right now is the only WBA champion, the only champion for the WBA at the current moment, and the WBA rankings aren't really that deep with names that we know. Of course, you got guys like Robert Easter, and Peter Petrov, who won last night on a Golden Boy card, which I think knowing Eddie Hearn, it'll probably be the route that he'll go, is probably get Petrov. It all depends. It all depends. So, like I said, I really want to see who he's going to call out and where does he go from here. Let me turn it up. I know he's going to have a post-fight interview. By the way, I'm T Street Controversy. This is T Street Controversy Live. I cover every single major fight live. Please subscribe. Follow me on Twitter. All the links to my social media are right down below in the description box. Now, this is what I do. This is what I'm supposed to be doing, is covering every single major fight live. I'm going through some growth, some personal growth, and make some changes for the future so I can make sure we have everything set so I can cover boxing in its entirety, every major fight, hell, even all 4 fight cards. But I'm just, rambling on right now to wait until they do the post-fight interview, because as I said, it's really interesting to see who he's going to fight. Now, let me point out the top guys at 135 pounds right now. Now, of course, you have Crolla. You got Francis Barthélemy, Terry Flanagan, Jorge Linares, Dante Jardin, Dejan Zalakatanin. He's the guy who beat Ricky Burns. And as far as names that that's pretty much it. Maybe a Dirijon would want to move down. Ricky Burns is now at 140 pounds. You got Hank Lundy, who's back down to 135, or if I'm correct, should be back down to 135. And he's taking pictures in the ring right now, and I'm just waiting for him to do the post-fight interview. Also, if you would want to move up to 140 pounds, that's deep waters. I feel that Eddie Hearn is going to advise him to stay at 135 and to try to reign at 135 pounds right now. Now, does he beat a Francis Barthélemy? I don't think so. You know, can he beat a Jorge Linares? Yes. Can he beat a Terry Flanagan? I don't know. I don't know. He can, meaning he has a chance to brawl it out with a Jorge Linares. He has a chance to brawl it out with Terry Flanagan. But even though this could be considered the biggest win of his career, he really hasn't really done anything. And also, like I said, his career is very, very inconsistent. Let's hear what he has to say in the post-fight interview. Like I said, it's going to be interesting to see who he calls out.
Anthony Crolla. And his tactics completely took away any advantage of the southpaw stance because he just stood straight in front of Barroso and blocked everything.
Barroso just gassed out. He literally gassed out.
Couldn't have worked any better.
Maybe he had some contaminated. I'm not making any allegations about the contaminated meats, but something's wrong. But he's never been past the 8th round. So I guess maybe he underestimated Crolla, thinking he was just going to come in here and just knock him out. Joe Gallagher, outside of the Scott Quigg situation, may be on his way to getting Trainer of the Year. Could he be in consideration?
We do want to try and speak to him. We want to hear from him. What was his reading of this fight? How hard was it in there?
Why is it taking him so long to do the post-fight interview? I'm sorry this video is running this long. I didn't want it to run this long.
Joe Gallagher, a big pat on the back for him as well. He's received his criticism over the years. Tonight, it's a night for plaudits and congratulations for Gallagher, who's got this spot on, got the right sparring in. Remember, Crolla, almost no experience of southpaws before tonight. Well, he won another one after this, won't he? Fabulous night for Anthony Crolla. Let's hear from him with Andy Scott. Anthony, what a way to defend that belt. Put it into words for us.
Andy, honestly, I knew, but honestly, I told Eddie Hearn after this fight was made, you know, when he beat Terry Mitchell, I'll beat him, and he got my back up. That people were saying I was going to avoid Ismael Barroso, and beating the Manchester era. Eddie delivered to me, and this is my house. No one comes into my house and takes what I've got.
Break the fight down for us, and that high-risk game plan where it seemed that Barroso was going for broke from the first belt.
Joe, he got it absolutely bang on. He thought he was going to try and get me out of there in 3 rounds, and I think that's what he tried to do. Honestly, I'm improving all the time. I think I've shown that tonight, and I've shown I'm up there with any lightweight in the world.
How hard did he hit in those early rounds?
Oh, yeah. yeah, as hard as I've been hit. But I just felt there was no way that I could be denied tonight. I've worked too hard to get this. Eddie delivered. My team around me, the whole team, that was pushed me, got me in the best shape of my career. And there's no way this title was leaving Manchester tonight.
At what point did you realise that he was starting to tire?
I knew once that fight started, within 30 seconds, I knew exactly the way that fight was going to go. It was just a matter of not taking any silly shots. He can't move a cue, but honestly, on that, I was never hurt. But I felt
this is long.
But,
pause. That's what she said.
A few rounds in, I only clipped into the body with left, and I knew he felt it. And when it was sort of a bit messy inside, it was really hurt then. And I knew there and then it was a matter of time till I got out of there.
Because of his reputation, it was billed as danger zone. Perhaps an unfair question, but where does this fight compare to the night you won the world title?
Eddie that night told me you'll never get that night back again, but this man just topped it. This man just topped it. And this crowd, honest to God, I say
who are you going to fight next?
I owe so much to them. So much to this crowd who get behind me.
I don't think he will call out Terry Flanagan.
You've got stick in the past when your game plans don't work. So
I don't even think Sky Sports will ask about Terry Flanagan.
Yeah, Nick came in the change room before me and said, what you got to do, box move. I went, no, we're going into the eye of the storm. We've got to go in there and we've got to take what it takes, and we've got to make it work at a high tempo, and that was it. And Anthony carried out because of the two.
A quick word with Eddie Hearn as well.
Of course, Eddie going to do some slick talking.
We want to talk about that fight itself. Terry Flanagan is the name that gets mentioned, the Battle of Manchester. Is that a fight that is far away? Is it close? Platforms. Listen, don't worry about other people. This boy deserves all the credit in the world.
See?
Right, he came into that fight, most dangerous fight in the division. Time and time again, he's the underdog in a fight. He's been the underdog the whole time. And he comes through, he's got his whole city behind him. He's gone from hero to lovely bloke to world champion to #1 lightweight in the world. You hear what I'm saying? #1 lightweight in the world. It's called $1 Million Crolla. And now let's go and get some.
Got to give a final word to you, Anthony. Sum it up for us.
Yeah, it's these are the nights you come into boxing for to take on the best fighters in the world, and few people said you'll remember that this night. And I hope this is something to living long in the memory of the fans that race tonight. It certainly will me.
Joe, Eddie, and most of all, Anthony, well done.
My dad never misses a fight, and tonight he couldn't be here, so that fight's for him.
Well said.
You see how Eddie Hearn, if you were watching, you see how Eddie Hearn just was squinting up his face, just tearing his face up like, no. Like once the name of Terry Flanagan was brought up. And you see how Sky Sports just wouldn't bring up the name. Don't worry, we have the same issues over here in the United States where HBO and Showtime, don't bring up or try not to bring up, other fighters on the competing networks. But I'm T-Street Controversy. This is T-Street Controversy Live. I cover every single major fight live. I'm highly impressed. I'm highly impressed. And I'm giving Crolla all the credit in the world because he fought a nice, calm, somewhat cerebral fight. But I also have to say, well, did Ismael Barroso come underprepared? He just was gassed. Did he take him seriously? Or should he even be at 135 pounds anymore? Maybe he was drained. But I'm not making any excuses for him. He lost. Shout out to Crolla, and I'm going to be covering his fights from now on. And it's going to be interesting to see who he fights. And it's not going to be Terry Flanagan, so just don't hold your breath. Please subscribe. Follow me on Twitter. All the links to my social media are right down below in the description box. T-Street Controversy, T-Street Controversy Live.